Grant? Grant?
Yeah?
Black coffee there for you.
Oh, cheers.
You took a bit heavy last night, didn't you?
Oh, I just wanted a drink, that's all.
Is that cold when I come in? Everything all right?
Yeah, everything's fine.
Oh, well, I better go. I've got a rush job on.
All right. Cheers for the coffee. Oh, I'll see you down the arches later, yeah?
OK.
Look, it sounds to me as though you did brilliantly.
I made Matt look a real swine.
Well, you're under oath, right? You had to tell the truth.
I just can't believe Steve would use something like that, you know?
Well, that just shows you how desperate he is.
Yeah, you're right.
So look, no more of the long faces, and let's see that lovely smile.
Oh, I'll get it.
Right, well, thanks for listening, Troy. I better get dressed.
It's for you. The Vaughan Hotel.
I've heard of him.
Morning.
Steve?
So you didn't have any trouble getting over it then?
Traffic wasn't too bad. I'm only here to tell you that I'm finished with you.
No, you can't walk out on me.
After what you've done.
Look, you've got every right to feel like that. Please, just hear me out, eh? Look, sit down, Jack.
I believed in you. You let me go around telling everyone you were innocent.
Yeah, and why do you think I lied?
Oh, you're admitting it, are you?
Oh, come on. You turn up here after all these years. What am I supposed to say? Oh, nice to see you, Jack. By the way, I accidentally killed someone.
If it was an accident. I take it was.
Of course it was. I'm sorry. I just didn't want to lose you. You're all I've got, Jack.
OK. I can just about understand that. What I can't is how you can do this to Matthew.
About time, too.
Oh, sorry, I was giving Troy's shoes a quick polish.
You polished his shoes?
Terry, come on.
Go on, tell him the good news.
Well, a mate of mine's put me up for a hotel job, and I've got an interview at 9.
We're going like that.
But he looks fine.
He still needs to give a good impression.
Talking of which, I better get over there.
Oh, yeah, good luck.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Cheers.
So, feeling better, are you? Come on, we've got to get to court.
And I want you both back here as soon as you can.
Oh, it's charming, isn't it? His Highness goes for some job as a skivvy in a hotel. He gets wished good luck.
Don't go off in a huff.
I'm only giving evidence in a murder trial.
Come on, give me a kiss goodbye.
Never get my shoes polished. No.
Hello.
This was the only way out.
For you, maybe.
No, for me and Matthew.
If she was strangling you, why not tell the police it was self-defence?
You think I wish I had? That I'd listened to Matt and called the police straight away?
Why didn't you?
Because I panicked. You know, I couldn't face the thought of walking into a police station and getting myself locked up.
Tell the court what you just told me. Might not be too late.
It was too late the minute we buried the body. I mean, once we had done that, there was no turning back. No one was going to believe it was an accident.
So instead you blame that poor kid.
Matthew is not going to be found guilty. If I'm saying it was him and he's saying it was me, then there's no way that a jury won't have a reasonable doubt.
You think you're both going to get off, do you?
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
Well, let's hope you're right.
Jack, hasn't it occurred to you why else I lied?
I knew this was coming.
No, this is true. I didn't want to end up like Doug. Just give me 2 seconds. I swear to you, Jack, I'm telling you the truth.
I can't believe a word you say anymore.
You will do your best for my home kids.
What do you mean?
Make him look as good as you can.
Look, just because you messed up doesn't mean I'm going to commit perjury for you.
Thank you.
She just asked me to make things look good for Matthew.
Well, that's what I'll be doing, Terence.
Can I sit here?
Yeah, of course you can.
I didn't think you'd be speaking to me after yesterday.
That wasn't your fault.
Thanks, Michael. So how is Matt?
Well, he was upset last night. He's not bright this morning.
are you feeling? Fine? No problems?
You gonna tell them the truth?
Right, Matthew.
I don't think we're going to sell many of those at 199 quid each.
Sorry, I'll do them all again. What's this?
Come on, get yourself off to court.
Really?
Yeah. On one condition.
Go on.
You let me cook your dinner tonight.
Ian Beale, what did I do to deserve you? I'd love to come for dinner. Mwah. See ya. Oh, hi, Kathy. Bye, Kathy.
Where's she off to?
It's off to court.
Again?
Well, she's bound to want to go. I mean, she was more or less there when it happened. Anyway, enough of that. I want you to come to dinner tonight.
Oh, you don't want me there?
Yes, I do. I've got an important announcement to make.
What about you and Melanie?
That could be.
Members of the jury, some X-rays and photographs have been taken of Miss Duncan's injuries. You may find these unpleasant, but it is important that you understand the pathologist's evidence.
Dr. Saunders, if you could explain the cause of death.
The cause of death was cerebral contusion and fractured skull. As you will see on photograph A, there was a single blow to the right side of the temple, which pierced the skull and caused severe bruising to the brain.
How much force was used to hit Miss Duncan?
To fracture the skull in such a way, the blow must have been struck with considerable force. I think that death would have been almost instantaneous.
Mum?
Yeah?
You know I'm giving evidence in court tomorrow?
I had heard.
Well, I was wondering if Jenny or someone would mind still for me.
I hope you're joking.
If I don't find someone, I'm going to lose a day's business.
If you turn your back on your family, you can't expect them to come rushing to your rescue. Sorry.
I was opening up early to sort out the morning papers. I run my own news agents, you see. And I saw Steve and Matthew putting something in the boot of Steve's car.
Which we now know was the body of Miss Duncan.
Well, I wasn't really taking much notice. I offered to give them a hand.
Did either of the defendants respond?
Steve said they could manage. I made some joke or other about getting rid of rubbish. Steve made a joke back about council bin men, and then I went in the shop.
How did Mr. Owen and Mr. Rose seem to you?
Well, they both seemed calm. They were acting naturally.
Thank you, Mr. Raymond. I have no more questions.
Excuse me. Mr. Raymond, if you could return to the witness box to be cross-examined.
Ah. Sorry, Your Honour.
Mr. Raymond, good to have you back. By your own admission, you weren't taking much notice of Mr. Owen or Mr. Rose. Therefore, how did you know they were acting calmly?
Well, because they weren't doing anything out of the ordinary. Well, they were, but it didn't look like they were.
I think I'm with you. You said you made some joke or other to Mr. Owen, but he denies speaking to you.
Oh, I spoke to him, all right.
Could you be clearer about his response?
Well, I can't remember word for word. It was just some joke about bins.
So, to recap, Mr. Raymond, you weren't taking much notice, you can't remember exactly what you said, and you don't remember what was said to you.
Yeah, but it's not like that sounds.
Thank you, Mr. Raymond. If you stay there.
Mr. Raymond, when you spoke to the defendants, did Mr. Rose respond at all?
No, Matthew just kept his head down.
And remained silent?
That's right.
Could another interpretation be, therefore, that rather than being calm, Mr. Rose kept his head down and remained silent because he was distressed at having witnessed a murder and having been warned to keep his mouth shut?
Yeah. I'd say it could.
Thank you, Mr. Raymond.
Thank you for your attendance. You are now free to leave the court.
Your Honour.
Ah, good morning.
Frank, how are you both?
We're very well, thank you.
You speak for yourself. I'm still recovering. I had to give evidence yesterday. Is Teresa nervous?
Well, she hasn't really said.
Well, I reckon she'll need looking after when they're finished with her.
Peggy, one thing you don't have to tell Italian families is how to watch out for each other.
Well, you wish her good luck. I think she'll need it.
Thanks, Peggy.
We'll see you later. Bye.
Did you believe Mr. Owen when he insisted that he hadn't had a relationship with Saskia?
Not exactly. Saskia had sent me an email saying they were back together. I was worried he'd rejected her, and she'd gone off to do something stupid.
What did you do?
A couple of weeks went by, I didn't hear anything, so I reported her to the police as a missing person.
The police made inquiries?
Yes. But obviously they didn't find anything. They said they'd keep looking.
Then I believe some months went by.
It was, May that I got a call from the police. A woman had been found matching Saskia's description in Scotland, suffering from amnesia.
What was your response?
I said that I'd go straight up there. But first, I went to tell Steve the news. He said he'd come to Scotland with me.
I know this must be very distressing for you, Mrs. Fielding, but even though Mr. Owen had disposed of your sister's body, he still came with you to look for her?
Yes. It's very good of him.
I believe you travelled with Mr. Owen in your car. What was his manner like?
Steve was very calm about everything. In fact, when we saw the woman and it wasn't Saskia, I got upset and he even offered me a shoulder to cry on.
Thank you, Mrs. Fielding.
Mrs. Fielding, would I be right in saying that you've never held my client, Mr. Owen, in particularly high regard?
It's ridiculous. You're trying to say I've made all this up just because I never liked Steve?
So you do admit you'd never liked Mr. Owen?
No, I haven't.
Thank you, Mrs. Fielding.
And all this does is prove that I was right about him.
Look, shout at me, say something, even if to tell me what a prat I've been.
Only you could go to a couple of loan sharks.
There was nothing wrong with the original idea. It was a good rate of interest.
Yeah, I bet it was.
And yesterday, these two blokes turned up and ordered doubling the repayment.
This is typical you, isn't it? I mean, you never stop and think.
I've been stupid, but I was thinking about us.
Yeah, well, in future, don't bother.
Hiya.
Bye. Look, we'll sort it out tonight.
See you later.
Sorry.
Oh, that's all right, don't worry about it.
I've come to see if I could take you for lunch.
Well, I'd love to, but I'm a couple of hours behind in this car.
How about tonight, then?
Well, the thing is, I'm trying to make the most of my time with Ben at the moment.
It's okay. I understand.
It's just for the next week or so.
Yeah, sure.
Mr. Owen told me that Saskia Duncan had visited him on a couple of occasions. She then left Walford without telling him where she was going.
Were you satisfied by his response?
Not at all. You see, he was unaware that while searching Miss Duncan's flat, I found a message from him on her answer machine which was of a threatening nature. I later asked him to accompany me to the station to answer further questions.
DCI Mason, I'm now holding up Exhibit S4. Is this the cassette from Saskia Duncan's answering machine?
It is.
If your lordship will permit, I'd now like to play this message to the jury.
Go ahead, Miss Mills.
Saskia, you stop telling lies about me. You get out of my life and leave my friends alone.
What was Mr. Owen's response to this evidence?
Well, he was very quick to change his story. He said that Miss Duncan was obsessed with him, that she was stalking him, that she tried to split him and his girlfriend up.
This being Melanie Healy?
And that's correct.
What was Mr. Owen's manner during these interviews?
Oh, I would say he's a very cool customer.
Thank you, Detective Chief Inspector.
Just one point. Detective Chief Inspector Mason. On both the occasions you interviewed my client, he was never under arrest or caution.
That's correct.
He was therefore under no legal obligation to speak with you.
Yes, but that doesn't alter the fact that he told me a pack of lies.
Mr. Butcher. I'm Ellie Young from the brewery.
Oh, nice to meet you.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. A rush to be free, as you could see, but I presume you're not here for a gin and tonic.
I know it's a lot to ask, but you couldn't spare 2 minutes.
Yeah, I don't see why not. Would you like to wait in the hallway there? I'll just get the missus. There you go.
What's going on?
Oh, it's all right. That's very thoughtful of you. Oh, by the way, good luck with tomorrow, yes?
What have I done now?
Nothing. That's why I'm here.
I'm not with you.
I'll manage your stall for you tomorrow.
Now, definitely not with you.
I'm sorry if I've given you a hard time recently.
What's brought all this on?
I want you to know that whatever happens between us, I'll always be there for you.
I've been sent over from on high. Castlefords wondered if you'd made a decision about their offer.
Well, the thing is, Miss Young, you see, this is a very big step for me and Peggy to take.
I do appreciate that.
I'm afraid we're going to need a bit more time to chew it over.
Between you and I, my bosses aren't the most patient people in the world. I wouldn't leave it too long.
Mr. Rose insisted that since Miss Duncan's death, he'd been terrified of Mr. Owen, who'd forced him into remaining silent. However, investigations soon proved otherwise.
If you could explain the eye steal.
Rather than display a terror of Mr. Owen, Mr. Rose continued DJing for him at the nightclub.
Did you discover any other evidence that they'd remained close?
Yes, indeed. They'd been seen frequently socializing together. In fact, Mr. Rose received money from Mr. Owen on a regular basis.
This wasn't for work he'd carried out?
Certainly not. Mr. Owen liked to look after Mr. Rose.
What was Mr. Rose's manner when you interviewed him?
He lost his temper and became aggressive with me.
Did you discover any motive for Mr. Rose to strike the blow that killed Miss Duncan?
The only motive could be found in their relationship. Mr. Rose hero-worshipped Mr. Owen. I would suggest that if Mr. Owen had a problem, Mr. Rose would be more than willing to sort it out for him.
Jackie, you all right?
I'll be okay in a minute.
There's some tissues in here somewhere. Here.
Take no notice of me. I'm just being stupid.
Oh, no, you're not. Come and sit down and tell me what the matter is.
In the 4 months after the killing, Mr. Rose remained in Walford, even working at the scene of where the killing took place. However, as soon as Miss Duncan's body was found, Mr. Rose fled.
How soon after was this?
He learnt about it late one night on the local news and was gone the next day. He took with him his girlfriend and one of Mr. Owen's credit cards.
He stole the credit card?
That's correct. He used it to steal money from Mr. Owen's bank account, which I should add was never reported to the police.
Finally, Detective Inspector, were you suspicious of Mr. Rose's statement blaming Mr. Owen for the killing?
I was indeed. If the defendants are to be believed, they both decided independently to contact a police station within the same 24 hours. Then they each insisted they were the innocent party in Miss Duncan's killing, and both gave evidence against the other as being the killer.
You'd say that that was quite a coincidence.
Quite a coincidence indeed.
Terry, how was court?
It's all right.
I won't tell you about it. I won't say nothing to anyone.
This is a murder trial. It's not something to tittle-tattle about, especially with you. You've still got to give evidence.
Well, you can tell me how Matt was.
He was all right.
See what I mean?
Ta-da!
You got the job. Well, I've been up to my elbows and washing up all day and I stink of chip fat.
Won't do you any harm.
A trial shift. 20 quid.
Oh, thank you. I'll take care of that.
Oh, Terry!
I'll knock it off his rent.
Sorry for losing it before. You're bound to be upset. Looking at your brother in the dock.
Thanks for your evidence yesterday.
I just told the truth. Looking back now, though, Saskia was really scary.
Still didn't deserve to die. Funny she'd left you and Steve alone, eh?
Yeah. Look, I better be getting back now. You take care, yeah?
What happened when you got to Nottingham?
We drove around town, but then we couldn't find them.
What was Mr. Owen's mood by this time?
He was going nuts. He kept wanting to split up and find them himself, but I refused. You see, I didn't want him getting to them first.
Why was that?
Well, I was worried what he'd do. And not just for Matthew, but my little sister was there and all.
You feared for their safety?
Steve was desperate. It was obviously about a lot more than a stolen credit card.
Did you voice these concerns?
I did. I even asked him if it was about the murder inquiry.
What was his response?
There wasn't any. He just got more aggressive, so I thought it was best if I didn't push it, you know?
Did you continue searching?
No. Because we found out that Steve's card had been used to book 2 flights to Italy in the morning. We decided to stay overnight and get him at the airport. Found a hotel, had a few drinks. That's when Steve started talking about Saskia.
What did he say about Miss Duncan?
He said he regretted they broke up, how terrible it was she was dead. I think he just seemed to be playing on his mind.
What happened then?
I went to sleep in my room. Steve found my sister in the same hotel and started knocking her about all over the place.
Mr. Cherry?
My lord, I must object to the witness' last statement.
I do agree, Miss Mills. Mr. DeMarco, if you could confine your evidence to what you actually saw or heard personally.
Sorry, Your Honour.
Did Mr. Owen tell you that he'd seen Mr. Rose and your sister at the hotel?
No, he didn't. I saw him the next morning with a black eye, so I asked him what had happened. He told me he bumped into a door.
So, you went to wait for them at the airport?
Yes, but thankfully they didn't turn up.
You say thankfully.
Well, Steve was like a madman. If he'd got his hands on them...
Quite. What was Mr. Owen's response when they didn't turn up?
I've never seen anyone more panicked in my life. He completely lost it. That's when he phoned up the police and reported Matthew for murdering Saskia.
Did you question him about this?
No. I thought it was safer to play along with what he wanted.
You're saying you now feared for your own safety?
Absolutely. Steve was possessed. He was capable of anything.
Thank you, Mr. DeMarco.
Mr. DeMarco, my client, Mr. Owen, insists that he was desperate on this trip because of his deep concern for Mr. Rose. He wanted to talk him into handing himself into the police before it was too late. Could the desperation you describe not stem from this concern?
Well, I suppose it could, but if you ask me, Matthew's welfare was the last thing on Steve's mind.
Thank you, Mr. DeMarco.
Mr. DeMarco, just one question. Did Mr. Owen say that he was actually going to harm Matthew Rose?
Yes, he did. I said he should report his card stolen to the police. He said not to worry, he wanted to sort him out himself.
Thank you, Mr. DeMarco.
Thank you for your attendance. You're free to leave the court.
My lord, that concludes the case for the prosecution.
Come on in. You look gorgeous.
What are you after? First the day off, now romantic dinner for two.
Well, it's free, actually. Mum's come.
Oh, great. Where's Troy?
No, I was soaking in the bath trying to get rid of the smell of chip fat.
He was lovely to me this morning.
Oh. Do I detect a slight interest?
Might do.
So what's stopping you?
Just doesn't feel right. Yeah, with what's happening to Matt, it just...
Matthew's not your boyfriend. It doesn't affect him.
I know, Mum, but I'd feel guilty. Going out, having fun.
You've got to have your own life as well.
Yeah, I suppose. Anyway, Troy hasn't even asked me out.
Well, you make the first move.
I couldn't.
Couldn't what?
Eat any more of this cottage pie.
Well, I'll have a bit more of this. I'm going.
Right, sit down. I'll get you a plate.
So how's work?
Oh, I've had better jobs, but it wasn't too bad. You sure that's okay?
Finish it all off.
We should go for a drink. To celebrate, you know, this new job of yours.
Tonight. I'm a bit tired.
Tomorrow, then?
Yeah, I'm working the evening, so how about lunchtime?
Yeah, okay. Take you for lunch at the Vic?
Okay, you on?
Great.
Johnny didn't half give Steve what for, and Claudia did. I mean, the jury's bound to think Steve did it.
We've still got a long way to go. We can't afford to start relaxing now.
No, I know that. Just can't help feeling better about it.
I'm glad to hear it.
Now, you get a good night's sleep. Ready to do battle again in the morning.
Will do.
Good night, Matthew.
Night.
That's him now. Now keep it shut.
What's he doing here? I told you, if you showed your face in
Phil,
this
hold
house
on a
again...
sec. You know what I was telling you earlier?
Oh, don't tell me he's got something to do with it.
Yeah, all right, I know. But he got us into this mess, he can get us out.
Come on, I keep telling you, there isn't a way
Well,
out.
I told you to keep it shut.
What's all the shouting about?
Jamie. Jamie, hang on a second, will ya? Jamie! Thanks, Grant. Thanks a lot.
I didn't want to bring him here, did I? But we're in a bit more trouble than I let on.
Oh, that was a bit too delicious. I've eaten far more than I should have.
Oh, I'm glad you liked it.
It was very nice. Yeah, if I can get up from here, I'll make us some coffee.
Before you do, I've got something I want to say.
Sounds a bit serious.
It is. Look, I know everyone always thinks I put business before everything. I know that sometimes worries you.
You have your moments, but it doesn't worry me.
Well, it needn't anymore. As a wedding present, I want to make you a partner in Bill's market.
You serious?
I want us to be partners in every sense of the word.
I don't know what to say. Thank you.
If Milligan and Freighter say that's how much it is, you pay it. It's not open to discussion.
They can't just double it.
Look, you can't mess with these blokes.
Will you stop panicking? I mean, you know them. You think of a way out of it.
There is one way. There's a couple of small-timers use this boozer I go to. Well, they've been boasting about getting this big drug deal together. Well, if I can find out where the deal's going down, you two could go in and rip the cash off.
How much we talking?
Well, enough to pay off the loan.
I don't believe this. Well, if these blokes are as bad as he reckons... Of course they're not. He's afraid of his own shadow. Now, what's their address?
What are you going to do?
I said, what's their address?
Grant, will you tell
Listen,
me?
I ain't going to ask you again.
It's in Soho, the club on Allen Street.
Right, come, let's go.
No, but they're not there. They've gone to Holland for a few days.
Listen, if you're lying to me...
I'm not. They'll be back the day after tomorrow.
Right. Now get out of there.
Look, you don't know what you're getting yourself into.
Listen, we've taken on loads of people in our time. And they've all learnt one thing. No one messes me and him about.